Great, I'm braving it, I'm risking it, even though it's blowing a bloody gale out here today. It has dried up. Ooh. Crikey. Right, Peugeot 208 car review starts here, starts now, starts today, so this is it. Peugeot 208. I wonder how many times I can say 208. There we go. We've got that on there, and we've got this coming up on here. It's going to go, hello from Peugeot. Foot on clutch and press start. Well, I'll tell you, the first thing you need to do is you need to put your foot on the clutch and you need to hold start. Because if you press it like it says, it won't start. Right, where do we go from here? I do apologise today, this is not going to be how my car reviews go. I wanted them to be a little bit more polished and a little bit more reviewed, a little bit more like scenic drives and accelerating through the hillside and everything else, but I don't think that's going to happen today. So I just noticed on another car review of the pre-facelift version of this 2.8 that it had wireless charging, so you could put your phone on there and it would charge. So let me just see if it does that before we carry on. No, it doesn't. No idea. So before I set off, I'm going to go through the interior. So what you'll notice to start with, so depending on your driving position, so I'm 6 foot tall, this is the camera next to my eyes, and what you'll notice is that this here blocks the speedo, so you can't actually see anything unless you kind of lift your bum up and have a look that way. So yeah, that steering wheel blocks the instrument cluster. Talking of the steering wheel, it's the ugliest steering wheel I've ever seen in a production car. So it's got a flat bottom and it's got a flat top. I can't help but think if it had a rounded top, I'd have been able to see through it and see how fast we were going, but that is as high as that steering wheel will go. So we can go there, that'll hit my knees, that's as high as it'll go, and it's having a bit of a fight with my knees, so that's it, that's as high as it goes. Right, so dials and gizmos, what has it got? Right, so let's start with this side. So we've got the bank of 4 switches. So you've got the rear windows and the front windows, electric mirrors. I don't know if you can fold them on here while you're driving, just in case you're doing any tight maneuvers. Doesn't look like you can fold them in. No, so these the up and down headlights, so you can lift them and drop them, turn the alarm off and lock the doors, so which I think it locks when you set off anyway. Coming through then, you've got the fake carbon fibre across the dash, which goes all the way across, and then you've got like this little decal here which comes back and runs through, which is quite nice. The cabin is quite nice. I do like it. This here with all your knobs and switches on, so that's actually quite nice with the chrome finish. That there's your volume controls and all your pretty basic stuff. So you've got the front and rear. It's not heated, the front's not heated, it just puts the blowers on, and then the rear one puts the heated rear window on. You've got the 2 USBs, you've got one there and you've got one there. You've got this little flimsy lid, which is not that good. And then I don't know if it's charging here. No, it usually says if it's charging, and this one isn't, so no, that's no good. And then you've got the 12 volt socket there, you've got the handbrake switch here, you've got the centre armrest there coming down, and a deep centre console. That must have been left by the previous person, so put that in there, and then a little whatever that is there for a little ashtray or something. Yeah, that's what it's missing. Smoking and driving, bring that back. What a sense of feeling that is. Right, did do a review on this the other day, so when the sun was shining, it was a very nice day. I come to edit it and it just looks shit. So this, it was like, oh, it's so difficult, and I'm going off on one, and I'm like going over here, and I was like, you know what, I can't even make sense of any of this bit. I mean, some of it was good, and I just come to the edit and I deleted the whole lot. I thought, you know what, start again, put a new t-shirt on so I know the difference between this edit and that edit, and then go at it again. So here I am, take 10. But today, so it's like 3 days later, today's not as good. So when I first started, it would have been perfect. Anyway, let's carry on. You've got this 10-inch display. So that's standard on this model, which I think they all get a 10-inch display. So you've got 4 trim options. You've got the 208 Style, you've got the 208 Allure, which this is the Allure, and then you've got the 2 GT options. You've got a GT and a GT Premium. The only difference I can tell with that, it's 6 grand more. So this is 24 grand, they're nearly 30 grand. And you get electric seats, you get a 3D dash, you get adaptive cruise, and 17-inch wheels, and the GT styling, which, to be fair, I actually quite like. It is a very good looking car, but it's nearly 30 grand. It's a lot of money. I think when the first 206 came out, they used to start at like 8-10 grand, but that was 25 years ago, and the war is over. So being French, you'd be glad to know. Right, what have we got? You got the 2 cup holders, nothing in the back. You've got the 2 USB chargers there, but I'll get in the back in a minute. You've got the horrible steering wheel. You've got no vanity light, just the mirrors. You've got the 2, you've got what we got here. We've got reading light, interior light, and then this here to tell you who has and who hasn't got their seatbelt on, and if you've turned the airbag off or not. And then the alarms built into there, and the auto wipers. Yep, and yeah, no vanity light on there, just a mirror. All good. The only thing I've noticed in the interior is this seems to be a different colour to the rest of it. So it's a different colour that, it's a different colour that, and it just seems to be bright ice white for whatever reason. I don't particularly like it. Thing in here is the glove box. So it must be the smallest glove box known to man. It's cut away here, and you get a bit missing for the fuse box. And there's no lock on it either. No lock and no light. So engine options, you've only got this one petrol engine. So this is the 1.2 3-cylinder 100 horsepower, and it only available in the manual 6-speed gearbox. No automatic option. And then you've got 2 electric options. Right, okay. We're gonna go for a bit of a spin. And why not? Ugh. See that? Is that a bit too in my face? Hello? How's it looking? Am I there? Am I not there? I've set it up, but it's a lot closer than what it used to be. So I do apologise. Right, let's go for a little drive. I'll go through a little bit of history, but I'll go through before I set off, because otherwise I'm too busy thinking. Peugeot is the oldest car company ever made. They started off with a flour mill, and then they converted to a steel mill back in the 1820s, I believe. Started off was Mr. Peugeot, Eugene Peugeot, and Almond Peugeot, I think, was his nephew. They came up and they started to do everything steel based. So they come up with clock springs, those things that they had on the old dressers, and then they had like tubular construction, so tubular frames, which they made push bikes out of. And they also made salt and pepper grinders, which I think they still do today. With that, they created a tubular frame and mounted an engine to it, which was then created as the first ever motor vehicle. And then I think 3 or 4 years later, they entered a competition or a motor race, the first ever horseless motor race, and they won it, which is hardly surprising because I imagine that they were the only ones in it. So yeah, they won it, and they carried on, but basically I think they parted ways. So Alman wanted to carry on with the automotive side, and his uncle wanted to carry on with the steel manufacturing of everything else. So yeah, they parted ways, and Alman himself set up the Peugeot group. He set up the Peugeot Motor Company. So yes, so back in 1929, that's when the first production car of the 201 was first made. That was the first production car to feature the famous 3-digit symbol, or the famous 3 digits of 201, with the O in the middle. And the O was copyrighted because Porsche themselves wanted to call the first Porsche 911 the 901, and Peugeot put a stop to it. So yes, they had to call it the 911 and not the 901. Yeah, right, let's get into this bloody car review. Right, go. What I've noticed is you've got your front and your rear sensors. You do not have a rear camera. So like I say, this is the Allure model. This is the 1.2 3-cylinder 100 horsepower. It must be. It's pretty nippy, to be fair. Like I said, I just put my foot down there and it has picked up. But you do get that kind of 3-cylinder rattle, or that 3-cylinder hum, if you like, and it's not a good hum. It's a I've not got enough cylinders kind of noise. So I'm just going to try out my point of view my point of view camera. Now, I wasn't going to do it this way, but I just thought we'd be able to get a feel for it. So right, this is a 50 mile an hour, 3rd gear. I'm going to put my foot down and we're doing 50. So there you go, we're doing the speed limit. It is pretty nippy. It does get you to your designated speed in good time, but like I say, you're just left with that little bit of a hum. It is an okay car to drive. It's not the best thing to drive, and I guess it's not really the worst thing to drive. Cars these days are equipped with that much safety in them. They kind of take the fun out of them, really, I think. Okay, right, another challenge. See if I want to put the blowers onto the windscreen. So I imagine I just press that button. That's easy enough done. I've noticed here that's the lock button, and also I've got a lock button here as well. So I don't really know. Is that right? I don't know if that is a lock button. It's just got a child with something on its head. So maybe that isn't a lock button. Right. Okay. So all the shortcuts are on here. So if you want the heated controls, onto the windscreen, you just press that. You've got the temperature there, or you can just put it on the auto, and that'll kind of sort everything else out for you. But it is awkward on there. Like now it's blowing a gale. You just keep pressing that. It is easy to use once you get used to it, but just as you look, as a first glance, it is quite clumsy. It is quite awkward. Press that. And then you've got the Apple CarPlay, so you just do that through the Apple CarPlay gives you everything else through your phone, so your music and your maps mainly, and then your text messages. It's got a calendar on there, it's got screen mirroring, it's got media, so you can put your things, but yeah, most of it is through the Apple CarPlay. Not a big fan of it. I'm more of a driver kind of guy rather than sitting in front of a PlayStation, if you like. But yeah, I don't like the screens. Not a huge fan of the screens. So here we go. So 30 mile an hour, coming up to the national speed limit. 3rd gear, put my foot down, and we'll get up to 60. And we're there. The brakes are good. Like I say, it's pretty nippy as you accelerate. The steering wheel's not that good. The steering wheel is ugly to look at. There's not much feel for the road through the steering wheel, so you still get a bit of a wobble. So I'm just going to overtake this car here, providing there's no one coming. corner, see what she feels like. Yeah, you get a bit of a feel through the steering wheel, not too much. Yeah, I mean, you've got the steering there, but it just feels too electronic, really. It's literally no feedback through that steering wheel, so I've got no feel of the road whatsoever. There's a bit of body roll as you throw it around the corner. It'd be a really hard car to find out its limits, to be fair. I think if you took it to its limit, it'd just let go. There was no warning signs. So it's very windy out here today, so if you see any flying dustbins, that is the reason why. On the quiet driving, so just tootling around now, just through the village at 20 mile an hour. It does alright, it's very quiet. As you build up speed and get up to 60 mile an hour, it can be quite noisy in here. So yeah, there is a bit of road noise. I just don't think you can get the feel through the steering wheel as much as you'd like. But that's a new car thing, that. I mean, I'm only comparing this to the other Corsa, and that's probably the two newest cars I've driven recently. I just don't think you get the feedback you need to enjoy yourself while driving. I mean, that said, it's okay. The clutch there on the rest is, I can't put my foot on the rest without hitting the clutch pedal, for being fussy. The glove box is a little bit on the small side. There's not a lot to put in the glove box. So yeah, the glove box is a little bit on the small side. I find this trying to navigate through there a little bit clunky. Yeah, yes, it has the shortcuts, but I just don't think the climate control or the heating controls works that well being on a screen. I do prefer just a dial or a physical button. Yeah, through the screen, just a little bit clunky, and it just takes your eyes off the road a little bit. Yeah. And then the steering wheel, so like I say, the flat top and the flat bottom, I just think it's an ugly steering wheel, and it does block the view of the instrument cluster, so you can be not sure of how fast you are. And I mean, it's not too much of a problem, it just does block a little bit out. Right, it's absolutely blowing a gale here today, so I want to go outside and I want to review it, but the farmers are in the field there on that corner, so probably do it a little bit further up. I usually do it on that corner, or I usually do, I've done it 3 times. That's where I go and just park on that corner and give it a bit of a once over on the outside. I'll find somewhere else, I'll pull up there. So this one has the electric handbrake as well. So the Corsa that I reviewed previously had a manual handbrake. This one has the electric handbrake. The glove box is on the small side, so you can't really get a lot in there. Once your locking wheel nuts is in there, it's a bit crap. And you get a little rock from the gear lever. So when you're revving the car or put your foot on and off the accelerator, you do get a bit of a rock from the gear stick, which I drive with my arm on the armrest and my hand firmly on my knob, and you do get a bit of a rock from it. So when you're driving quite through town and it's rocking, it does feel a bit cheap. It's something you'd expect from a car that's done 100,000 miles, but this one's only done just under 6,000. So yeah, you thought that'd be a little bit better. Yeah, I don't like that. Right, we shall battle the wind, so hopefully you can hear me. I'll take the car key just in case. Oh! Right, now I don't know if this is going to go good. No, it's terrible. Terrible. Right, I'll probably just take some pictures of it, I reckon, and then talk over them afterwards. I'll quickly show you the back. Oh my god, so that was my driving position. I'm not going to get in there, but if I itch the seat forward a little bit, I'd probably just about squeeze in. You've got the USB, normal USB, and then you've got a USB-C. No centre armrest, but you have got this vinyl and cloth interior. It's quite nice. Yeah, I think it'd be good for small teenage kids, children, If it's your granny's car, I think you'd be absolutely fine, but I mean, as a family car, I just don't think it'll work. Coming down into the boot, so it's electric boot. There we go. I think it's just over 310 litres, so you just about get one big bag and two little suitcases in here, or two big bags. So when we come back from travelling, we managed to get us two big bags in there and two little bags, just enough. So yeah, a great couple's car, I reckon, but not a big boot at all. Under there you get a big chunk of plastic, which I don't know what it does, and then you get this airman for pumping up a flat tyre. So there's no space saver and no proper spare, which is a shame. No sockets, just a little compartment there and a little there, just for probably unplugging the rear lights. But yes, no storage, just a cheap carpet. Whew. I think the weather might just have held off a little bit, so I'll just go around the front. So it's got these 3-tier lights, which I think are kind of like a lion's claw, because looking back on the one before this, the facelift model, or the pre-facelift, we're blowing a bloody gale. So the pre-facelift kind of represented the lion. So here's the lion, which is now all black, which the lion represents. It represents reliability, something else, and something else, which was to do with the saw blades. You've got this bit here, which is a nod to the old 205, and then this trim here, which is also a nod to the old 205. So as far as the facelift model is concerned, we're blowing away. Yeah, it's actually quite a bit of a retro looking car, but it's not a bad looking car at all. It is a little bit on the dull side, but most new cars are. I'd like to try and test drive the GT models, because I think I'd like to aim the channel a little bit more at the sportier models, but this is one that's just offered to me, and yes, it's not a bad car to be. So there's more stuff coming up, so I'm gonna just leave it here. I've done as much as I can with what I've got, so thank you for bearing with it. I want to get better at it. I want to improve, and I want to kind of put better things together. I also want to try and do a bit of a challenge with older cars, because I do like older cars. I'd like to do a bit of a flipping challenge, to start with 500 quid and try and get to my dream car. I'd like to do that, so do a series with that, and then just bits in between of DIY bits as well, just for the channel. So if you're interested in that, just give us a like, give us a subscribe, and excuse me, and give us a comment as well, and just let me know how we're getting on, and what you'd like to see, and whether I'm doing good or doing bad. But I do appreciate every one of the subscribers that I've got at the moment, and hopefully we're onwards and upwards, finally doing something I quite enjoy. No, I've been doing what I've enjoyed for the last 15 years. I would not change a thing. So yes. Right, anyway, I'm going to leave it here. So if you want to go out and buy a Peugeot 208, why not? Go for it. They're an absolute fortune, I think. There's not many cheap cars on the market today. I think out of the two cars that I reviewed, either the 208 or the Corsa, I personally would have the Corsa. But if you're a long line of Peugeot ownership, if you've got a long line of Peugeot ownership, go out and buy one, treat yourself. But as far as owning a car, I mean, this is a lot of money. I have just bought a car for £1,000, and it's a much better drive than this, and that'll be on the next video. Yes, I would rather have 20 of the cars that I've just bought rather than one of these at 20, so let that be a bit of food for thought. But there you go. I mean, at £350 a month, it's not a bad option. But yes, anyway, if you've liked it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It means the world. Yes, and I'll carry on doing these reviews, and I apologise about the weather, but I have been pushed for time today, and I wanted to get this video out, because otherwise I won't have this car. This car will not be with me, so I didn't have much chance to do it. Yes. Why is it beeping? beeping. Adjust tyre pressure and re summit. I don't know what that said.